eUnited didn't choke in the flames of Inferno, but Ghost certainly vanished when we got further into it. An impressive attempt of a comeback, but it was slowly denied there. It seemed like Ghost just figured it out towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, it did look a little scary towards, let's say, most of the second half, actually. I felt like Ghost was definitely getting into it. eUnited kind of clueless even. Overthinking, I would be thinking, what's the theme for eUnited a lot of the times. But then they started making things a lot more simpler, started getting those entries into it, and then basically managed to close it out on the last call, because obviously we were looking at it, it got into that 14-14 point. You're thinking, yeah, definitely Ghost was on the driver's seat of the game. They were doing all the right things. They didn't actually need to do anything too fancy, but just actually getting to the, because it felt to me like in the first half that Ghost players were taking, I don't know, they were like taking a day off, basically, because players like Wardell, for example, just wasn't doing the kind of things we saw him do previously. And that's obviously a big part of it. If you don't have a player of his caliber, not bringing in the numbers and making those entries when need be, then, yeah, you're going to be in trouble.
Well, you can see some of the highlights coming in from this game. It was a bit of an awkward start, right? eUnited started to run away with things. Ghost came and looked like to be on the back foot, and it's their T side that we praised them on.
Yeah, Dapper here, for example, a nice 4K in this round. A flash coming in from CT spawn, helping him out, but he just manages to mow down the whole attack and make a massive mess out of it for Ghost. But they still managed to get 5 on the board towards the end of it. They got a couple of late rounds in that half, giving them a glimmer of hope. But then you see eUnited picking up that all-elusive T-Piss around you, thinking, okay, this should definitely be a eUnited game. But if you think of that T-side still for Ghost, I mean, one of the 5 rounds was literally a CZ Deagle rushing to B. Kusta gets the first kill, they get the second kill, isolate the bomb site and win it. And then this one here, actually, fighting one where Wardell managed to deny a bomb plant like on the last second. So there was a lot of like iffy rounds that Ghost also managed to grasp. But yeah, eUnited managing to make it work in the end.
Now, one of the things you just pointed out there, right, was that CZ pistol round when they bust into the B site. Do you think it was the right decision from eUnited at that time to just fall back? Because they still had 4 players. They could have contested a little bit, but they just didn't want to fight into it, right? They wanted to hold on to their weaponry and try and buy into the next. But that's when it started not really to pay off for them, right? Maybe that affected them mentally.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those where someone just gets absolutely destroyed in Banana, that it kind of sets the mindset for you that, yeah, you kind of turtle. But yeah, obviously you kind of have to be proactive. You need to be more aggressive and dare to make plays, because otherwise that's when it's going to be like just a swarm of bees coming in and they're just going to attack you and take you down, basically. But yeah, no, I think in the big picture, just a little bit of a lackluster T side from Ghost, honestly. I mean, before they were known for building up rounds really well and managed to get map control and getting those first couple of kills, which would cause their opponents to make some kind of a gamble, make a play. But none of which we could actually see here on this in this map in particular. I'm not sure whether it's the fact that they couldn't be as prepared, or whether they'd be a little bit more looser, just because, you know, feeling that they've just beat some bigger teams, obviously, thinking that this should be a cakewalk for them. Obviously not the case.
And that's the thing, right? We expected this to go close. We expected them to kind of be battling back and forth. But it very much comes into what we said, right? Where it's the teams that, okay, they can prepare for what eUnited are doing, but you play against them so regularly that it's kind of, it doesn't come into fruition of what we'd expected and see from Ghost. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, now going into forward in this series, obviously now they're going to be kicking themselves, considering the fact that they got into the game in the second half and they realized, okay, we dug too big of a hole for ourselves. First of all, only getting 5 in the first half and then losing the pitch around as well. You kind of need to go through then all the motions and you feel like, yes, we got the game in the grasp, and then a couple of rounds just don't go your way and you end up losing the series. So that's, or the map rather. So that's like the worst way you can actually lose, because you've just got back into it. If they would have lost it like 16-6, then you could just take it on your chin and be like, well, you know, it just didn't work out. We'll just move into the next one. Now, this one is one where it's going to sting a little bit more because they got into it.
Yeah, now moving on to Train, right, and looking at how they're going to kind of try and play through this. It's a bit of a 50-50 map for eUnited, but it's not a map we see all that often. Actually, it's the first time we get to see it throughout Pro League. Yeah,
I mean, I haven't really seen much of Train from either of these teams. I mean, obviously, eUnited beat Cloud9 in that best-of-5 series for Chicago.
22 for 19 or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
It was the last map of the series, and they managed to win that. Obviously, that's a positive sign. But also, I can definitely see a world where this is a map that works for Ghost if they actually do play up to their potential in the way that they normally do, because this is a lot about setup plays. It's just a lot about, you know, not necessarily getting much map control per se, but it's a lot about, you know, kind of trying to make sure that your opponent is aware of you doing things before you actually commit to things. Like, for example, the only way that you really do take map control is that you take ladder room and then you make an A play out of that, for example. If you have a good timing for it, yes, it can work. So, I mean, I definitely see a world where this is a good one for Ghost as well, but they haven't really faced a lot of, you know, high echelon Counter-Strike teams on the map for us to make a massive judgment out of it.
Yeah, when I was looking at it, right, they faced a team called Drama Dogs and won 16-5. Never even heard of that team. Pretty cool name.
What kind of conclusion can you draw out of that, right?
And then they did lose to NIP on it 16-11. But remember, NIP, obviously a different caliber team. NIP playing a lot better at this point. But we do have a lovely little pro tip for you going into train. So you may want to check this out and apply it to your own game.
Hey Future Pros, the training never stops, especially since we're on train. Today's smoke will block off some CT angles and allow you to plant while you're undercover. To throw this smoke, line up against the wall and find this seam in the brickwork. Crouch down and aim at the middle of this window just below the crossbeam. Hold both mouse 1 and mouse 2 and let the smoke fly. This smoke can be great on a full save to try and get a cheeky bomb plant.
We've got our commentator joining us back here in the studio. Firstly, okay, you went for the bold prediction of Ghost and it didn't pay off for you, Scrawny. Launders, using it right. There's video evidence, my friend. You're not getting out of this one, but a very, very close game. And it was very back and forth what we expected for it. Going into train, are we expecting Ghost to kind of take that lead a little bit further, right? Being, as Nati was saying, a bit of more of a tactical set play map.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys talked about it already, but just like, did they choke? Like, were they going to? You know, how could they not close that out? And then I was just so shocked when we were commentating, just like how they looked like such a different team in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Suddenly way more decisive, way more confident, and we're just got it together. I thought they were just going to fall on their faces or minimum OT, you know.
They took that pause.
And
Another instance of that, taking a pause and then turning around a game.
I feel like you jinxed it, though, because you said they have a tendency of losing from these kind of big leads. And then I'm like, well,
But it is true.
it's actually happening.
So Scrawny really just messed himself up as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, right, before we even made any predictions for the record, I did say that you can't do it when there's Canadians against each other. So it's just a win for everyone, really. You know, except for Ghost.
No. you made me take United. I'm taking credit for this prediction.
Launders wants that victory. We are going to train next. It's the first time we get to see it. The question is, will Ghost be able to get it a little bit back here against eUnited, or will eUnited run away?
Yeah, again, I think that first half, right? That first half on Inferno, Launders, that's something that I don't know if it's going to be replicated again, because think about the last 15 rounds we saw from Ghost. It was very much them. Until the very last step, eUnited managed to add some more rounds to the board. Half of those T rounds, of course, come off of the back of a pistol and conversion. So once we start here, I don't know if we're going to get that same form from eUnited as we started on Inferno. That's going to be the biggest question. If they can have a lopsided start, which could be facilitated by the fact they start on the defensive side of train, then maybe they run away with another great showing. But we can only hope. I would love to see United actually kind of, you know, close up their score. I would just want a close season through and through for everyone, and that's really been the case thus far. Is anybody can beat anyone.
We are in the top tier for Pro League at the moment. Neptune lobbing one smoke out on the site to allow for the planet players to come out of ladder, but over the top of it is Relics, and he's actually stayed in this position, so will continue to be a nuisance. Zabroza knows it, helps Neptune cover the plants. Bomb goes down, but not at the cost of no lives. They've gotten a couple of kills, leaving just Zabroza and Kusta now in the 2v3.
Yeah, Kusta's taking damage all the way at the B site. I mean, he's just being distracted. They're tapping bomb. This literally falls on Sabroza because Kusta's nowhere to be found. Quick round. eUnited start off the first half with a pistol.
I think that was the plan, was to have that have the bomb go down. I think Kusta was the one to actually plant the bomb, so it's kind of weird for him to be the one to run all the way back. But I think what's so funny, Connor?
I'm just laughing at that idea. Plants A, runs to B.
Runs to B, yeah.
See you guys.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe he was supposed to have one of those two things be his job. Maybe he decided once he got on the ladder, hey, I'm going to go for this big rotate. He expected it to be a long round, though.
Yeah.
And his teammates died early, so there was probably no chance no matter what in the 1v3. But we don't live in that timeline.
This is something else that I'm going to be trying to look forward to moving forward is in terms of the opping. I think that Wardell got the best of Ace on Inferno.
Couple of
and I
times,
think
yeah.
opping is going to be a key piece to train, as it always is. In this round it was. That scout of Wardell, already good for the opening kill, but he does lose Neptune just next to him as he attempts a second.
Steel takes a bit of a tag. A little bit more. And he's done with T-Con now.
Yeah, third time will be the charm in terms of taking him out. Wardell's still floating towards Ivy, so they could do a quick little burst into the B site. They've actually got, more utility than they really need. Waiting at the bottom of the ladder is Relics. He's anticipating somebody to wrap down towards A, and as long as he holds that position, then B can just hold quick. The steadfast, the cementing. The concrete defense. I would say that when it did come to the Inferno CT side of eUnited as well, Dazzle was really good at getting those multi-frags on the A site, and Moose the same. And now you've got Dazzle and Ace here on this portion of the map. First comes in, bomb goes down. Immediately, Ace actually going to pick up the multi-frag, so they were just trying to express the plant, and he's not going to give them anything really here to work with. Kusta and Wardell will retreat into Relics. He feeds his SMG some kills, and that pays out in cash.
Yeah, straight cash. They like to get those SMG kills. They managed to do it, no problem. eUnited had a stalwart defense. I liked all the spots that they were playing. It looked very simple, and if we look at the scores for Coast Gaming, they've gotten 3 kills. All of those 3 kills were only on the pistol, so they're going to try to make up for some of that right here. And taking some of the kills that they got, turning it into cash, about $300 ahead for the pistol kills, and now they've bought smokes with that money. Kusta is spending a little bit more than he'd like to, and now they're going to pull out an eco strat. I'd like to see what it is.
2 smokes flashbang. Seems pretty simple. Could do 1 down ramp, 1 deep Z. 1 down ramp, 1 for the plant. You'll have that single flash over, so you hope it's well timed. Dazzle just immediately blows down the Molotov. He ain't playing no games.
His job is definitely dangerous enough at times, and just wants to make sure that he can stay alive without taking too much damage. This guy's, he knows it's just to bait his attention away, but he's got a teammate in the back to help him spam.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. A smoke. Oh, that's cool.
It's a side plant, so they don't get naded.
Smoke down on upper track, and then a smoke down for the side plant. So it gets the job done, right? Attention all fixated towards the ramp. Those players literally just thrown down to die. And it still nets them their objective. A little bit of extra cash in the coffers.
Yeah, it's a small touch like that. You know, you can definitely see like Steel in rounds like that. Just doing a small thing there. The default plan is it's actually quite hard to nade correctly, but even still, with all of the players that can come in from outside, they know their lineups. They can walk through the nades, and sometimes denying the plant would just be the end of the world for the T's. So it's cool that they had like a little bit of way to ensure that they actually get the bomb down, and it's such an unexpected spot for them to use so early in the game that why not go that extra little distance.
Flashbang, Relics and Moose making the most of it. 3 frags for them. Subroza and Wardell caught in the open. At least one is. And the sniper's been given nobody else to help him out. So a one-man army. Not gonna happen. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Settle down.
A little pissed off.
It's because he's short.
Wouldn't know what that's like.
Yeah, I thought I was tall until I started hanging out with you. You really eat away at my self-esteem.
Is that why I still think I'm tall? Just gotta hang out with someone who's taller than me. My high school had like everyone was taller than me in my high school.
Yeah.
We had like the best basketball players, and I have reach.
Yep,
I've got arms for days,
that's certain.
and I could still get stuffed on the court of my school.
I was always the short kid. Always. Till like the last couple of years of high school. So being
And then you
6
just,
foot
like,
feels
grew
real
out of
good.
all your clothes, just wore a loincloth to school. Like I got nothing to wear.
No, I could afford
Wrap
more than a
yourself up in a
loincloth,
towel.
Launders. Dazzle's just shoulder peeking this angle yet again, and even if he's seen, it's not like they have the firepower to really do much about it. But even pistols can be deadly, and Moose knows that, so after being tagged in the face, he's going to be a little more cautious. Dapper sent packing. So at least already a kill here for Ghost in the 4-0 scenario. Utility's still strong too for the T. It's something we've used, or they've used rather, to plant bombs.
Sabrosa out to Olaf, very common spot to go. Highly naded as well, but once you're here, sometimes you can sneak out and sit there. And there's a lot of options once you're there. Not so many on a round like this, but even still, maybe you might be able to make something work with a CZ. Ooh.
Another one.
Mention it.
But Ace, that's a crucial shot, just to at least keep it even. The entirety of his team looks to be coming inside of Z. We get that little bit of a peek from Kusta, still floating around top ladder, but he does double back because I think he just confirmed the rotation. Wardell's kneecaps have been spotted, but not cut down. And here's the scary thing. It's like you don't want to stand just right on top of the bomb site because then you're exposed, but you can't fall too back because you're still playing with 2 pistols. The one man with a gun is Sabrosa, and he has cut off the Ivy angle. Ace with a sidearm gets the best of another, and it does remain on only him. He's got 2 frags in the round, but Wardell will take his op for free. Ghost not supposed to win this one, but they do.
Sick round from Sabrosa. I feel like I've understated how important like his spot was. I really didn't think that he'd get a lot out of it, but he played it to perfection. Turned a CZ kill into a picked up N4. Great crosshair placement on Moose coming into not old Ivy, just Ivy, and then obviously sealing it up with a great trade on Dazzle, almost taking no damage, allowing him to take that 50 in the final fight and still come out ahead. Clean headshots on top of that all. So it's actually an eco to win them their first round, just like it was in the first map. There's Wardell out-offing Ace one more time. It's giving him the Wardell experience.
Not a fun one to be on the receiving end of. Dapper's an opper now. Finds Neptune, but Relics. Do you think that was a necessary push?
Losing a man, they lost one man. They decided to trade for info. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes when you're in T-Con, I have no idea what information he got. Typically wouldn't want to walk around that corner unless there was something called, but clearly he did that because they had Ivy control, so he's assuming that, like, you're either going to have a, you don't have like a T-Con Ivy default unless you're going to execute right away. So he assumed there was 3 down there, and there was only 1 holding.
Very true.
But Sabrosa was waiting patiently.
And gets the best of the slight situation. Then Moose goes back for second servings and bites off more than he can chew. Did not anticipate 3 players from Ghost to be there. I feel like we've just seen eUnited kind of walk into their deaths all across the map this round.
And that's why the 5v4 is so important, because then teams make worse and worse decisions.
Dapper drops one as bombs planted. I'm sure he'd just love to survive this round, but he's no clue where these players are at, and I don't blame him. I mean, you've seen 3 guys over on Ivy. There was 1 chilling outside T-Con. The bomb's planted on B.
Yeah.
What is happening?
What is happening?
He has no clue.
You could turn any corner and there would be someone there, either looking for you on an exit, or that was part of a strat that started off 20, 30 seconds ago. It's really all up in the air. Dapper has found sanctuary in the ladder room, however.
He'll be all right. 1 op given over to eUnited. Is there a certain play that you can think of when you have a 1 op buy?
Yeah, I just look to spawns number 1. Like if you have a spawn, let's see for example, Dapper has a perfect spawn to pick T-Con. If they decide to jump across, he can go there and try to fight them. He can also go up to the lower ramp and try to pick. He doesn't have a spawn to go for like a super aggressive peek and guarantee you see somebody though. Like if he wants to go down Ivy, he has like a pretty good spawn for it. Not the best, but he could still try. But this is definitely what I would do. And the other great part about this is like, yeah, you go for your pick. You're kind of like middle of the map. And, oh man, this is a very tricky angle. This is crazy how precise that they're being about what they want to try to pick off.
Oh, there's Steel's contact at the B site. It's going to open up what could be space for the bomb. That's what eUnited's thinking, when in reality, it's just crept out T-Con. They are coming back. Yeah, they didn't bite on that fake just yet. Dapper does best Wardell. Moose is wrapping around the Ivy train. This is all going to come down to timing, and it looks like Sabrosa kicks it off. Executed is Dapper. Moose just going to now start firing the sidearm. Sure, he's dropped bomb, tries to find safety, and does now get himself a gun. He's inside T-Con. That would have been one hell of a shot. Could have thrown more into the wrenches, but no, sir. Ghost Gaming will find it. That's 4-3.
Interesting that the lurk play almost backfired, where eUnited were totally set on saving and hung out at A for a moment too long, and then they were offered up a couple of kills, and then the round got a little bit hairy. Maybe if they didn't overplay it, if Ghost didn't overplay it in that situation, they could have taken B. But, I mean, who are they to know that a little bit of presence, Steel going down there getting one kill, was enough to start a save?
Big old push back into the brown halls. They just run rampant over top of Steel. The numbers game too strong. Kusta clearing corners, just got obliterated by Ace, and that's another kill off of Dapper. These pistols are doing work. Ghost Gaming, they just died everywhere. 5 players down and only 1 returned.
Yeah, the instant callback, and so much money has been made for Ghost Gaming though in these last 2 rounds. They're totally fine because of that, but wow. 1 push from Inner, and then Ace's heads-up play doing so much damage to more than 1 person from Old Hell.
I mean, that first one onto Kusta.
That was a nice deke, man. That's a player moving very fast. It's like a relatively big flick because it's so close to you. The model is obviously a little bit more enlarged as well to balance it out, but not an easy shot nonetheless.
Ooh, the high ground taken by Ace. Man up in the offices.
What was that?
A fantastic grenade, Launders.
That's one for the books.
And Kusta running through the flames. Neptune the same. Drops to Ace, and Relix takes the forefront. So the CTs across the kill feed. Steel's the only Ghost Gaming member to respond, but he does so with a double, which cuts this only to a man advantage here for eUnited. But they will still remain in charge of the situation. Wardell to clutch, and he kicks it off with Moose. Minute on the clock with Ace and Dazzle just in the bomb site, literally not moving here.
We've seen Wardell do some crazy things with an AWP on train. This is definitely a map he likes to op on. And if he doesn't, well, he's just way too talented. Dazzle's head, he doesn't spot it. Somehow was not aware. I think we obviously see the X-ray, but that thing was moving. Floating target.
Yeah, that was a big old noggin.
Over top of the train. Side to side.
A glaring forehead for the taking, but doesn't even fire off the shot. So eUnited will establish a 3-point lead.
I think Steel is going to be a critical component of Ghost's outside takes because he's just somebody who doesn't get confused when there's like a lot going on, and I feel like they need someone with their head on straight for these outside takes to like take the brunt of the entries, and Steel is a great entry fragger.
That's a super good point. He never seems to get kind of overwhelmed. He'll get animated, but not overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like that's it, right? Don't confuse excitement for confusion. Frag deep. Neptune loses half his health for it.
He kind of flew right for it. A little bit. Is Bruno Mars'd it?
It's not a goodie bag. Beautiful frag, nice shot. Dapper smokes him off. A little bit of a drive-by with the PT-50, the lub tap versus Wardell. Relix shuts down the T-Con push. So this pistol round from Ghost Gaming, where they're just walking around for contact, is not unfolding how they'd want, but they get what you'd expect. Nothing.
Yeah, it could be a situation where they're calling the powwow just to go over tactics, and we're like, hey, let's split up for a second, while Steel just kind of goes off and tries to maybe come up with something that they can do differently, or probably air out some dirty laundry from the previous rounds about like what went wrong and what they should avoid the next time they potentially try to take A. And also, you know, it is tilting to have to lose an eco of all things, but they have a lot of rounds to work with still. They look promising in those 3. It didn't seem like that streak was going to end anytime soon. So Ghost Gaming fans should feel fine. There is still a lot of potential, a lot of potential options for Ghost. You're a Ghost Gaming fan. Do you feel fun?
No. Yeah, I'm alright.
Yeah, you're all in one piece.
Yep, for the time being. I'm also an eUnited fan, so.
You're an eUnited fan. Are you worried?
Nope.
All in one piece?
For now. For now.
I hope people could hear you touching your own body. It's a very important part of the bit.
That's true, right? That was definitely a visual joke, and you can't see me. They can't see Steel. Smokes pluming quickly from eUnited, just chucked right up the ramp. Maybe meant to kind of puff their chests a bit, because it is just Dazzle. So, if you're not strong in numbers, be strong in false sense of presence. I take that back, actually. Ace has gone over towards the top of the oil tankard, so there is a two-man setup on B. And there's also smokes flying down from Ghost here into the outer yard. Moose and Relics will try to work within the bomb site, and Kusta's just going to clear the first one with absolute ease. Relics denied by Sabrosa. Head put on a platter.
That's kind of how they want the outside takes to go, huh?
Smoothly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then, of course, you've got this double op rotator still. Dapper and Ace going to be at a distance. Dazzle's close. He's got no teammates to help him. I don't know if he realizes that he has just been abandoned.
Yeah, he is kind of out here. He's just stuck behind the bomb train. Couldn't even cross back to Z safely. Ace hits a swift one, but that's just for an exit. eUnited definitely dropped this one here to Ghost Gaming. He go for a fiery outside take, extremely fast and highly explosive, and looking very, very well oiled at this point. So that's a nice comeback after the pause, or after the eco round, I should say. They can hold their heads high now that they've managed to land on their feet. eUnited pulled off a pretty incredible eco, but now Ghost are right back into things. Dapper and Ace combining in tandem with the ops.
I feel like when we get back to the hotel tonight, let's sit down and...
I gotta figure out another way to say that. Like, when do people use tandem without saying in combining? That was the pause, right?
Have you ever rode a tandem bike?
I was gonna make a joke, but I probably should make a joke. I'm not gonna.
I'm setting it up for my own joke too, so don't steal my thunder.
I have not.
Well, no, I'm not gonna make my joke.
Okay. People would like to know your joke. All right, when we sit down and talk about tandem, we can also go over what our jokes were gonna be.
Okay. Let's see if Relics can get the best of the smoke fading. The answer is no. And Ace has shown his presence because he fires off the op. Kusta goes charging outwards with the Galil. And they do clear the E-box, but there's still the man on site. It's this wall of smoke they seem to be looking to work with. Moose charges straight through it. Can't pin anybody to the side of the trains. Kusta and Steel doing work right now. Another one from above. Why did Steel become the opper?
It's just that passion. It's the hobby of his that he's had for a long time. He's been a CSGO player this whole time, IGL and all that, and that's why we know him and love him. But it's really you compliment someone on their hobby. That's how you really get to someone's heart. For Steel, that's opping.
Like, in terms of a player, like, what can't Steel do? Play at majors.
Okay. I don't know. It's been so many years at this point. I can't laugh at jokes like that anymore.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's any less. I don't know. It's just not even funny to me. It sucks.
Fifth round for Ghost now. Starting to figure out this T side, really. I feel like the outer hits are definitely something that have improved since the beginning of the game, right? We talked at first how Steel had to kind of be that beam, and now he is just melting away this defense.
Yeah, and he's also, what was that, first and third kill, something like that, out in the thick of things. Cool to see the outside execs working out as planned. I feel like it's just so hard to go over and dry run what to do when the smokes go down, just depending on what the people who are on the CT side do. And it's so chaotic, guys, because it's the fact that it's a site that usually has 4 people, and you have these trains that people can play on both sides, behind or on top of, and there's no like walls or distinctions, you know. It's just like these long lines of sight. You can see all the way back down to Ivy from T-Con, all the way across the site into Old Bomb, and then you have to plant there. You have to use the smoke so creatively, and you have to use so many smokes. There's just so many options. Really just drives you nuts sometimes.
I feel like it's
trying to
such
hold
a
the site down.
contrast to say something like Inferno, where like you have such narrow choke points that one smoke, not even really in the direct middle, will get the job done. Whereas like you throw one smoke into the outer yard and it's a, you know, a droplet in a massive pond. So you've got to be so much more on point. Last thing you want is gaps in those smokes, especially when we've seen Ghost go for that kind of wall play where it needs to be perfect. But we'll see if they can get past the double op setup here of eUnited. One of which currently at the backside of the B site. It is Mr. Dazzle at the bottom of the ladder, and he's deleted from Sabrosa. That could be the plant easily done. On the top of the train, Steel gets this one in, and Sabrosa goes on a tear. He is just covering ground right now, immediately up into the faces of eUnited. Little do they realize they're about to be blindsided from two potential players, because Steel's ready to peek, but Sabrosa, he's going to wait to see them take that upper lane. Steel dies as they push past the oil tankard. Sabrosa now does hit his shot, and that's 3 quick kills on the feed for Ghost. Leaves it on Moose within the site. The fire blocks off his path, and it is eUnited to give up another.
I think four rounds they won outside on their rifle rounds. Here's one where they did it as well inside, and they did a great job of pushing up. It's something you need to do as soon as you get the bomb down. It's like A-Side on cash. It's a site that you can play retake on, and for that reason, your job's not done when the bomb goes down. The 5v5, you have to go for that 5v4. You have to push up. You have to smoke deep Z and then get in front of it. That's why we see players always doing that. And the meta becomes knowing how that player is going to play. So as a CT on the retake, you kill him first, and there's just so many things to think about beyond simply just getting the bomb down in the 5v5 for inside. And they checked off a lot of those boxes. And Dazzle, they know he's here somehow. I guess they saw just a bit of him, and that's going to assist in these entries as well. Pushing out quickly on the B exec.
This is a rapid round. Quick pace, set, and successful in their endeavors. So a T side from Ghost Gaming really starting to piece itself together now. This one here will be the 4th in a row. Sabrosa at the top of the kill feed. And you know what's crazy here, Launders? I've only just noticed now, but you know, even despite Ghost doing a great job, Neptune has 1 kill. Like, that's when it really just goes to show the rest of Ghosts are coming together. It's the Sabrosa and Steel show at the moment.
Yeah, probably pop in for a 1v3 in the second half, just cause.
It happens. I mean, when you 1v3 MIBR, that's probably, like I said, at the moment, right? That's the biggest clutch of his life.
Yeah.
Clutching versus major champions.
In a match. In a match, no less, not just a scrimting.
In his first official ESL Pro League game.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. I don't know. It's so nuts how some people just don't get nervous. But that's the way you got to be if you want to be the best. You got to want to win more than anything else. More than worry about losing, worry about being bad. Clearly the quality that Neptune's got. Wardell. Clean entry outside, and wow, he's just going off already.
Yeah, that's actually going to force eUnited up closer towards the E-box because those 2 first frags clear out Ivy side. You can see how eUnited, they realize their backline is susceptible and therefore move forward. They kind of switch sides of the A bomb site with Ghost. Not that it's going to help them in the end. Even though the damage is there, Wardell, on a sliver of HP, picks up a 4K in the 15th round of the T side from Ghost. They do establish a 1-point advantage.
Yep.
And that is exactly where they'd love to be swapping over. I mean, 7 defensive rounds from eUnited.
Yeah.
Some would say that doesn't cut it.
Yeah, especially not after losing that many at the end. I mean, that's when it really hurts. I think they just, again, a great start and kick things off. We can see the score just adding up here for eUnited. The eco finally coming into place for Ghost as they pull it back, and just a Glock from Wardell to seal things up. And Wardell towards the end of it was just lighting up the server. So it seemed like eUnited were going to get back on their feet, but that was totally denied. And Ghosts are just right back into the folds. I don't know. This is a pretty tight half. And it all came with a pause once again. Except this time it was Ghost.
Yep. No, I mean, there's truth behind it, right? Really can kind of take away momentum. Sometimes you just need that 30 seconds to breathe.
It's crazy, the power of words, right?
Yeah. Especially Steels.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't understand about Steel, and I don't blame them. It's like, once you've met him in person, and once you've seen him function as a leader with his team around him, you kind of get to understand why I think he makes such a good in-game leader and just a leader in general. He's got something about him, right? An aura. I think there are people like that, right? Zeus is another great example. We don't speak the same language, but you just see when he's walking down the hallway with his team, like he glows confidence, he glows leadership.
I heard one Zeus got in the wrong Uber when he came to Atlanta for E-League, and then some small lady in the car screamed and drove the car away with the door open when he was at the airport.
He was probably wearing pajama pants.
Yeah, and looked terrifying.
Yeah, yeah. Zeus is a big guy.
He's a big dude. He's not quite as big as Snacks, but he is
No.
almost.
I mean, me and Snacks, I don't even know if we're the same species.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah, because he is the bear family,
Yeah, Bear Clan.
bear genius.
He really did embody Virtus Pro. A Polish bear. Now turned into a mouse? Doesn't quite work, but he does. Wardell falls back. It was an initial clash set towards the top of the B bomb site. Looked like eUnited had some footwork to use, but Neptune with 2 is then denied. Moose and Dapper cut this down to even keel, and now they're just going to eject into the A site launders where they're going to find it for free.
Pretty good rotational call. Very common to do, using this ladder as a swivel of the rounds. Interesting to see that it's double flank out, and if they had any idea about this, they would have been more fully well aware of it. I think there is a position or a chance here where the bomb crosses, doesn't go down safely, and the ladder is left open, but Wardell now, with all this time spent outside, is switching his attention in between ladder and T-connector, and oh my gosh, he actually kills Moose as well. I can't believe this.
Yeah, I'm surprised the United didn't just go for that express plant. It seemed like once they arrived at A, they were scared.
They didn't know where the two players were left, so they didn't know that this was like a double ladder flank, and there it is, the second player chiming in for a kill. Yeah, they just had no idea where the last two people were.
That's a big one. A pistol straight up for Ghost. That's how eUnited did kick off their own CT side. And of the 7 rounds that they managed to pick up, they picked up the first 4. So let's see if Ghost can extend that early momentum, get more so of a start, or whether or not eUnited have an upset in their sleeve. But
So do United have trouble closing out on T side?
I wouldn't know enough to actually make that call.
Okay. Yeah, that's something, maybe deeper statistical analysis. It could be as shallow as just like, they can't close out because they get a mental block. I totally assume that's probably maybe it. But here we are on T side again, so it begged the question to me, is it's just harder for them to figure out these T sides when they're under the pressure.
I like what you said earlier, though. Instead of playing for 16 rounds, play for 20.
Yeah.
Like that's a good ideology.
It's like when you go for a run or something, if you're going to run for 10 minutes, you get to the 10th minute, go ahead, do 12, you're there already.
There already.
And
Neptune's here. He's got 3 players ahead of him, unbeknownst to him. He knows there's at least 2 because there's no way someone's that tall. Moose executed as he rounds the boxes. The support is there from Subroza, but the MP9 at that distance actually falls to the Deagle. And now it's Steel to kind of be the nail in the coffin. Blindsides Dapper. His head just popped along the wall. Ace, they know exactly where he was, and he hasn't had much time to move. He's spotted yet once more. Good jump across here from Steel, just staying mobile, making it very difficult to pick up the kills, and therefore he will not. It's an upgrade into the FAMAS. The Scout and MP5 also move forward. Double digits for Ghost, and still another round here for eUnited to have to sit back, twiddle their thumbs, and wait.
Yeah, so we'll see if they mount the comeback at all, but yeah, it's just so unsexy to be like nearing the end of the game and be telling your teammates, just a little bit more, guys, please.
Yeah.
You should just want the game to go on forever.
Why stop? Counter-Strike is no game.
Okay, that's the most justified Glock kill that I've ever seen.
Neptune just sent to the stars. Kusta spray down with many bodies ahead, but Dazzle actually gets him. I mean, what is going on? This is a big old stack up from eUnited, and the moment it's revealed, they just go bursting past. There's no flank around from Ghost. This is secured by one of the eUnited players. They are just going to go head-to-head, toe-to-toe in terms of a retake, and they are clearing the closer of frags. Still 2 to deal with, both on Glocks. Whether they like it or not, they have not gotten their hands on better guns. So they should still be happy with the result. 2 kills, bomb plant. It's just enough to move forward into their first gun round of the T side.
Yeah, I have not seen anyone die that fast in a long time.
I'd like to see it in slow motion just to try and count how many bullets connected. You know, was that like 6 body shots?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a Scarface moment. That was Scarface if it didn't have rifles.
Yeah. Say hello to my many little friends.
I like this alternate ending. Yeah. Director's cut of Scarface.
There's the purchase. Look how perfect it is, right? The AWP, full Kevlar, full sets of nades on everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, good job eUnited to put themselves on the full buy.
4 rounds in difference. United encroach on Brown Hall's territory. They maybe mess around at ladder. You can see from the minimap that looks like Dazzle is kind of doing his rounds, making sure that nobody is going to be right underneath him. Looking for that attention.
Aren't we all?
And they haven't made a move quite yet to try to clear it out. Minute 12 now, and what have they got to show for it? Not much. They are leaving Ivy completely. They're starting to peel off. It's unclear what the game plan is, but they've got to take a risk at some point.
They've already shaved too much time off the clock to really wait around much longer. If things go south on the execution, there won't be much chance of a recovery. Sabrosa, I'm sure, wants to probably help out with Wardell if the push is there, but his main focus should be this ladder push, and he just deletes Dazzle.
No trade. No totem pole drop. And no hope at ladder, and a really important choke point on this execute.
Yeah. And now, I mean, we're at the 25-second mark. These Molotovs going down are going to make the job very difficult for eUnited. They could still easily blast past if the kills are quick, but if they're not swift, issues will be had. 15 seconds. Bomb nowhere close to the bomb site yet. They're going to have to just go straight by Neptune and hope this plant goes down. How have they managed this? They're going to be cleaned up, so it seemed. I mean, eUnited down to the wire. Steel versus Relics, and Steel's going to pick up those last 2 kills. We talked about them. The anchor on the outer yard, whether it's offense or defense, Josh has got it.
Yeah, he comes through when they need to, and yeah, there was other ways they could have won the round. I actually wonder what happened there, because they had a great setup outside. They had ladder room control. The late drop in ladder made it seem like there was no chance that anybody from TCON was going to be able to do anything. I think Dapper might have dropped into the Molotov, got a kill, and went back up, because it looked like he was taking molly damage, but then I was surprised to see he didn't die, so unsure if that was the plan. It looks like Steel got a tip there in the last few moments as to where his final target would be, but what a critical 1v2 from them. Just like saves around they needed to win.
Yeah, again, the one player to kind of keep his head on when things get hectic.
Yeah.
When the lunatics are let loose, Steel just corrals them back, puts them to bed, reassures them it's all going to be okay. But that's not the case, because the economy's bottomed out here from eUnited. This is everything they have on the line. And a T side that could be busted at a 5-round, could be 6 deficit. Leg shot to Ace as he gets the plant in. Wardell hunting for the kill, turns his back. That's dangerous. But nobody punishes him for it. Moving around towards Ivy side is Ghost. The entirety of eUnited boxed into this site. I mean, this was a 10-man bomb plant. This doesn't happen too often. So I really do think it goes anyone's way. There's so many guns up until Kusta begins to cut some down. A little bit of an edge here for Ghost, but time's playing into the favor of eUnited. Dapper executes one. Neptune dropped from behind and Steel removed from the defuse. This is eUnited on the board in a crucial moment, but it certainly comes with a cost.
It does come at a cost. Unreal performance, though, from Dapper. The 3 frags that he got there, that was really nice. The way that he moved around the bomb site was clutch. I'd say here where the bomb gets stuck, he needed to be tucked in a little bit more, and Steel gets killed on the outside of the site. If he went a little bit farther away and tried to defuse from the other side, maybe Sabrosa could have saved him. But even still, Dapper takes that fight and wins, so I'm not surprised that he felt like with such little time remaining, he needs to get on the bomb. And now, eUnited, as you said, have won a round, but they lost 4, and they haven't won a round in a while. Ghost Gaming, on the other hand, going ahead, buying up one more time, getting the opening 5v4 at a minute 30. And we have yet to see if eUnited can battle back from this.
Now Other than Sabrosa, there's no close proximity from Ghost this round on A. But there is most certainly at B. Two guys really within his sight. Kusta's going to get mollied out of position. That's going to activate Steal, and he is only good for one. Dapper, great trade. Kusta turns away. And that's another one from Dapper. The headshot nearly connects from Moose, but he does enable the flank. If Sabrosa were to shoot, that is Dapper down, and it falls only to the man who dies last. Sir, this is a 13th Ghost. Getting it back. That one, I think, was really quick. eUnited just exploded into the B site.
Yeah, they went for it. You know, I appreciate that too. I think that they haven't thrown out an inner hit like in recent memory that was a full-fledged one with a lot of money. And as a last-ditch effort, I think maybe staying away from outside made a lot of sense. There looked like there was a lot of ways for them to lose that last round, so I wouldn't have felt too comfortable. Also, the 1v2 at the end, just to further and like enforce that point. And now I think that it's like a lot more difficult because they've got to prove themselves at inner as well. Ghost Gaming have another buy up here. eUnited will not have much to work with. I think they'll potentially get like a couple of pistols, but apart from that, like they're probably calling a pause just to talk about what to do to stave off match point.
Yep.
You wouldn't starve it.
That'd be
It'd
cruel.
be a weird thing to do. Yeah, it'd be mean.
Sicko.
One of the worst ways to go, I think.
Drowning.
Drowning would be one of the best,
Ugh.
I think.
This is too morbid for me, Launders.
We always talk about death here on Pro League.
I'm like a happy-go-lucky kind of guy, you know. I like cupcakes and Counter-Strike.
Cupcakes and Counter-Strike, okay. Good to know.
So Rose is gonna get wrecked. The spinal spray down. Kusta misses the shot, does put down the flames, but he's got a sidearm. Oh, goodbye, Moose. Hello, Wardell. Kusta and Co. just lock this down.
Just killing everyone with the USB.
Goodness. Good thing they didn't have armor.
Yeah, he made it look like a pistol round there. For some reason, it's so demeaning that even if you have a pistol, to die to a pistol, if you know that the other team's not saving. Didn't even bother to like...
Don't worry about it.
No, for this last kill as well, he was like, let's just make a clip of it.
If I have to use the AWP.
Fine, I'll bust it out.
Gets that last one in. Poor old Sabrosa was just caught blindsided previously. That was a really fast play from Dazzle. Good read on the base that he had that spawn. It's not an easy job being the terrorist who has to clean ladder.
Or just a terrorist.
True. Odds definitely stacked against you. For good reason.
Everyone thinks everything you do is illegal. You're always on the run. Sometimes you live in holes. Probably sucks.
Definitely sucks.
There's not enough sympathy for them, you know what I mean? Okay, let's not go down that road.
Stop sympathizing terrorism, dude. Like we're going down a deep
I'm just
dark
trying to see it
hole.
both ways, all right? You're the happy-go-lucky guy, you know, very even-killed personality, can see the best in everything, likes cupcakes, Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, you know,
You're the terrorism sympathizer.
something like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's not say it like that. That sounds really bad.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
But not for a good reason. I'll argue against that.
This has been this is one of the first times actually I think we've got this most forward positioning inside of TCon. Mm-hmm. Ghost Gaming tend to be sitting back on the A-bomb site, but now they're really up in it. Oh, Dazzle, lucky to be alive. The repeat from Wardell is going to cost him further health, but it's not like he's all too worried because Sabrosa's here to help. But down goes Wardell regardless. Good blindside spray down for neither of those kills, in fact, just an assist on one. It's everybody else from Ghost Gaming to get into the fun. And Relics with Moose try to bail out eUnited, because if not, Ghost have secured OT. Moose puts a smoke at the feet of the closest opper. Over towards Ivy, down goes Steel. This is it. It falls to Kusta. He picked up a flurry of frags with the USP last round, nearly has time to recock the op and just give it to Relics, but no. eUnited one closer to double digits. Still a 5-round deficit, however.
That was close. That was close. That was a nice recovery in the 2v3 situation, creeping up the side of the bomb just to make sure they could get one safe kill, and then from there realizing that there might be somebody from a rotator spot. And Z, they easily, I think, doesn't really shoulder peek that guy, but I think it might have been Steel who tried to take the shot maybe a little bit early, but more importantly, gets him smoked out so there's no chance of a repeak. And then they get the afterplant going, but that was a close moment. the op on the bomb.
See, here's the thing. Because we had Inferno, I'm not ready eUnited out of this. It's going to be a really tough half to finish off here, but nope. They deserve the attention. They deserve the belief. Never over till it's over. Although in reality, remember that of the T rounds at this point, we already had Ghost with like 5. And the last time we had eUnited actually pick a T-sided round, it was instantly reset by way of defuse. So they are going to need, absolutely need, a conversion round. He should see that shadow. I mean, come on. That's obvious.
Yeah, I wonder how many nades goes through this round if they wanted United to know they're forcing. Kusta falls back. Does he get into safety? No, he doesn't. Big frag.
Steel's going to float in a similar position as to where he's been before. Will nearly get a gun, but it's so quickly denied by Dazzle that Relic's death is not that big of a deal. Still, weapons chucked around here towards the A site. They're just going to eject. I don't think they go for the retake, do they?
They actually, I think they could have just because of how much utility they have, but I guess with 2 of them running through Ivy so early on, they didn't expect to get that last kill, and so, yeah, but for real, United have no utility whatsoever on this round, and after needing as a kit.
I feel like not having utility is kind of why they go for that.
Why?
I take back, never mind, I misunderstood what you said.
Oh.
Excuse me. Excuse me, Launders.
Your excuse.
Thank you.
Fine. But now they take these 3 guns. I don't think this force was expected because they had like just traded around and they had like 1-2 in a row, but it was very close and then they traded back. So I think United probably weren't anticipating that they would have enough money. Maybe that's why they decided to go inner, even though the last time they went inner didn't go so well. Not sure if they'll save that for another rifle round in the future or if they'll go back to outside. We might find out here and now, as they should treat this as a very serious round, knowing that Ghosts have converted and upgraded their guns, as well as kept a lot of utility.
Quick smoke being used by Sabrosa. He's even going to underhand a flash. Does he decide to push this himself? Because his team is starting to swarm the site, and eUnited come to a bit of a halt. Bomb dropped out into the open, and Sabrosa's being given space to play. Nobody trades that frag, and now he's still just keeping his head on a swivel, turning like a turret. And finding more headshots. This one into Ace. Kusta emerges from the side of the plant, and Moose can't do it all on his own. So, Ghost Gaming get themselves 15. 5 map points.
Well done, and I love that we had eyes on Sabrosa, who has been an all-star this game. He's got 26 kills, and he's done tons of smart stuff, and he looked like he was very confident in his position. He was just rotating on a swivel, sliding around the bomb site, getting those multiple kills, and like I looked at that round and thought, wow, Sabrosa's like, we're looking really sharp right now. And then I look at his kills, it's like clearly reflected in how much impact he's had overall. So bailing Ghost Gaming out, and it's potentially the last round of this game is now we've moved on to match point for Ghost Gaming, and it is pistols to support a couple of rifles for eUnited.
Rosa close, Dazzle blinded. Good flashbang, beautiful double. This could be it.
28 for Sabrosa.
Yeah, talking about that individual level, this is what we've come to expect at times from him. Kusta next, bomb thrown out, and this just looks done. Unless Moose and Relics can pull a miracle out of somewhere, it is looking like these teams have split maps. eUnited fought valiantly back on Inferno, obviously switching over to Train. They gave up what was looking like a stellar CT side. So good job for Ghost getting so many rounds on the offense towards the end of those first 15. Also, of course, these teams splitting the pistols. And while Moose upgrades into the M4, he just continues to take shots through the wall. 31 health. Nobody watching bomb. Doesn't have to be cautious, but he's going to walk into the scope of Wardell, and that's what spells the end.
Great attempts from eUnited. Crazy already that they were able to take a map off Ghost, considering like what Ghost's record had been in so far in Pro League. As for eUnited, they pick up 1 win, 1 loss, leaving them at I think 2 and 4, which is not a great position to be in. In fact, it's like pretty dire straits, but still, they had like a solid performance overall, and we didn't see the best eUnited I think here on Train, but it couldn't have been any harder, honestly, for them.
Yeah, I mean, a 2 and 4 is not the best of starts, but remember, they've traded maps now with Ghost and with Cloud9.
Yeah.
We've got teams like NRG and Cloud9 down with a record of 1 and 3.
Fair enough.
So, I mean, it's not the best of positions, but it's also not the worst. It's nice to see a team like them not being a surefire bottom fragger. But we're going to give this one over to our analysts so that they can unpack what you've seen.
Thank you, guys. Yes, we're here to kind of break down what we just saw there, because Ghost, they did bounce back in a more convincing fashion this time around, right? We can be impressed with how they played out on train, but eUnited, it wasn't like they had massive shortcomings, was it?
I feel like the big difference between these two teams really was on the CT side and the way they preserved grenades and incendiaries, more specifically for Ghost. I mean, they were really holding on to them towards the tail end of the round to make sure that eUnited would have a harder time to actually hit the bomb site once they wanted to do that, because that's a big part of it. Also, you know, realizing when do you need to be aggressive, when do you hold ladder room, when do you fall back. I felt like Ghost Gaming just had a way more better grasp on how to play a CT side.
Yeah, it was one of those things, right? We looked at kind of how we expect Ghost to be more tactical side, but also on their CT side, we get to see a bit more of their general, like I'd say, good form being shown there, good awareness, knowledge of how to kind of play it out. And it was very much at times eUnited kind of playing into their hands.
No, it's a lot about grinding when it comes to train. I mean, it's a full-on brawl at the outer bomb site a lot of the times. And then the beginnings of the round is for the T's is if you're not doing like a fast set strat straight away to the outer bomb site, it's just grinding. Basically, you're either trying to make a man advantage through Ivy, you're trying to take over a ladder room, or you're seeing if the Caesars are going to be trying to push into that T main position, or otherwise, you're just trying to make sure that the Caesars are spending as many grenades as possible so that your life is easier when you're later on the round trying to attack the bomb site. That's quite basically it. We saw a couple of weird ones, like a 5-on-5 afterplant, for example.
Yes.
In this one, you don't really see that all too often. Somehow actually Ghost managed to come out on top of that. Usually, if you end up in those situations, it heavily favors the T's, obviously, because you can just clog up all the choke points. But yeah, well, they managed to take it anyway.
Now, we spoke about Wardell having that potential on a map like Train to really kind of show his skills and show what we've come to love over these last few days. But this time around, it was Sabrosa who was getting in the lockdown, right? Whether it was with the MP7 in his hands or if he was rocking it with his M4, he was able to put the hurt on him no matter what. He was putting himself in good positions. He was looking very comfortable. Yeah,
I mean, he's definitely a big player. The boys were talking about before how he was the one like kind of running around a lot of the times before Steel was introduced into this lineup. And yeah, I remember watching him play that this kid has a lot of potential. And yeah, I mean, it needs to be that way as well. It can't be just one guy. You know, there's only one Simple in the world, right? Who's going to just go ham every single game, basically. So it needs to be someone stepping up, obviously, apart from just Wardell for this team to be successful.
Yeah, and that was good to see. We get to see kind of Ghost actually bounce back as well, because we haven't seen him take a loss. Did that kind of get in their head? Nope, still kept it all good. And I think at least looking forward, we can say that they had a good showing on eUnited, though. It certainly shouldn't be underestimated, I'd say.
No, definitely not. I mean, a competitive team, now middle of the pack, you know, like Launders was saying, you know, 2-4 so far in the season. Not the prettiest place to be, but at least, you know, signs of life, managing to creep through or get past the finish line. That first map was a big thing. If they would have lost Inferno after having that massive lead, you know, that would have really haunted them. Yeah, that would have been a bit crushing, I think. And I think that's what could have maybe played in the back of their minds there, because going into Train, okay, they started off with something that reasonably they could fight back into, but once they swapped halves, it was very much just Ghost taking the show and taking it all by full control. And I felt like, at least for me, United, there wasn't enough adaptation in there. They weren't getting the reads on point. Yeah, a couple of times also just lackluster execution as well, going down ladder one by one instead of, you know, using just like a flash squad together, going in as a tower. You see that a lot of teams doing that. You know, make sure you're at least trading 1-for-1, always advantageous for the T's. So yeah, felt like maybe like a composer there. Running out of steam a little bit, you know, people not thinking through every single second. Things that we see from Ghost more often is that they do pay attention to these details, which win rounds. Well, we get our first 1-1 of the day. The question is, will we be able to see if we get a 1-1 again? Will Luminosity be able to take down Liquid at all? Liquid looking really strong, but we're going to a break and we'll come back soon.